just kind of placed in between your hands and knees. We might use it again in a moment. We're getting ready for a plank. So again, be sure shoulders are right over your hands, hips are right over your knees, and we're in our neutral spine, feeling the abdominals stay lifted to support your low back. Press one leg back, keep it straight, other leg comes back to meet it. Now the first leg, return your knee to the mat, second leg, knee to the mat. Now reverse that. Second leg straightens out first. Keep alternating. So if you start right, left, the next set, left, right. Once you're even on both sides, find a downward dog by piking your hips up to the sky. Stretch your heels as close to the mat as you can. And really push through your arms and your legs. We're going to scoop your abdominals up to the sky so much that you round through your low back. Start to push your body weight forward towards your hands until you find a plank. Bend your knees, pike those hips back up to your downward dog, and just do that a couple more times. So you're unrolling your spine from your tailbone, scooping your abs up to the sky, rounding your upper back, and then finding that neutral spine in a plank. Once you're in your downward dog again, let's take a walk to stretch through the lower legs. So one knee bends, stretch the opposite heel towards the mat. Alternate sides here. Still breathing, check in that your ears are staying right next to your biceps, trying not to let your head drop towards the mat. And then again, unrolling your spine, really mobilizing, scooping your navel up to the sky, pushing through your feet as you shift your body weight forward over your hands into a plank. Bend your knees and then lift those hips up towards the sky and a little bit behind you. Do that a few more times. Start to walk your hands back towards your feet. Enjoy a nice fold forward. It's okay to bend your knees if your legs are tight and start to roll all the way up to standing. Arms reach overhead. Think of growing a little taller and then dive forward, chin to chest, rolling down towards the mat one bone at a time. Your hands walk forward on the mat, and I'm going to adjust my pillow back towards me. That's so that if you want to press your knees down onto the pillow for these push-ups, you can. So more challenging to keep your knees off the mat. And just take a few push-ups there. Mine are really small. That's because I'm trying to keep my shoulder blades as wide as possible to stabilize my shoulders in those push-ups. Walk your hands back, roll all the way up, arms reach overhead. Just like we did earlier on our knees, we squat down, keeping that neutral spine. Feet are about hip distance apart, so there's room for 2 fists between your feet. And then let's hold that squat. Take a few pulses here. We're looking for that deep crease in the front of the hip while the abdominals are drawing in to support your back. Then let's stand back up and again dive forward, rounding through your spine, rolling down. Again, you can bend your knees as you roll down. And this time I am going to set my knees on the pillow to do some push-ups. I like to do both because you can see I can get a lot deeper with my knees on the mat, so that gives me a lot more challenge in the range of motion for my push-ups while I'm building up strength to do them in a full plank. Let's take a release here, walking your hands back to your feet, bend your knees, interlace those fingers behind your back, and allow your arms to reach up and over your head. Try a gentle twist side to side. Unlock your fingers. Let's grab onto your elbows. Head is just resting in between those arms. Nod your head yes and no. And then slowly roll one bone at a time all the way back up to standing. We're going to test your balance here. So think about stacking your head right over your shoulders, shoulders over ribs, and ribs right on top of your butt. Bend your knees. Feel all 10 toes equally on the floor as you lift your heels off the mat. Find your balance. Breathe. Slowly lower your heels back to the mat, and let's try that again. Knees bend, they straighten, stay lined up as your heels lift. To add a little bit of challenge here, see if you can go for that walk that we did earlier. So one heel lowers as the opposite knee bends. If that's a little too wobbly for you today, stick with both feet doing the same thing. Finally, can you reach both heels off the mat, circle your arms out to the side and all the way overhead. Slowly lower your heels all the way down to the mat. Your arms float back by your side. And you are done.